Yeah, hi, very good evening, everyone. So, this is the first session for the C programming, and Beak 1 is also released. So, in this session, maybe you haven't watched all the videos, all these things, content. So, this first session, we will just discuss about the course content, live session, and grading all the course, all these things like as an introduction of the course. And after that, we will discuss the summary of the Beak 1 also. Okay. Meanwhile, you can, if you have any query, just raise the hand first, and then you can ask your query. Okay. So let's start with the introduction, like what we will cover in this course. So let me share my screen first. Am I audible to everyone? I'll just
Yes, sir.
okay, okay, thanks. One second. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So this is basically a total 12 week course, but we have total content 11 week content. Week 12 is just a refresher free week, so where you can revise all the concept. So week 1 to week 4. This is the first part of the course for the quiz one. Okay, so maybe some of you are giving the qualifier exam, and some of you have already entered into the program, and you will give the quiz one exam. Okay, so the syllabus for that quiz one or qualifier will be first 4 week. Okay, so what we are going to learn in the first 4 weeks. So this is the syllabus you can see in my screen. So first 2 weeks are actually we are covering only the theoretical things about the computer and data representation and basic that number system. All these are the theory about the computer. Those who are very new in the computer programming, or they also don't know about the basic structure of computer, how computer works, all these things. So because of that, we are covering from very basic. We are starting from how computer works. Okay, and what part actually computer contains inside that, how the computation happen by the computer, and where the data is stored, what type of memory we used. Okay, so week 1 basically we are covering all things about the computer, basic, very basic. Okay, so just computer understanding and computer working, memory inside the computer, what type of memory we use. Other than this, we also discussing a little bit about the computation, how the computation happens actually. Okay, by the computer, and what type of instruction registers or memory we used for the that computation. And other than this, we are also discussing what very basic about the programming. So what is programming basically, and little bit about the introduction of C language. So this is the week 1 content. Week 2 we are also continuing with the same things, little bit about the data representation. Basically we will always work with the data, so you should know how the data actually represented by the computer, and how the negative number, hexadecimal, all these type of number actually represented by the computer. So floating number representation, character representation, all these instruction encoding, this type of theory we will learn in the week 2. Also we will understand the compilation process by the program compiler. Okay, so and little bit about the operating system. Okay, but these topics are not in very deep, but you should have very basic understanding of all these topics. So, so we will discuss about operating system. So operating system is very wide area to learn, but we will discuss very basic about the operating system. So you should understand that what is the role of operating system in the computer. Okay, so don't try to go in very deep in these topics, because these are very wide, actually different subject totally, like operating system, compilation process completely, like these type of topic. And similarly this instruction encoding, some topics are very wide. So in first 2 week we are very discussing only very basics about these. Okay, now this is a C programming course, so definitely programming will start in this course, and we will include the programming mainly in this course. Okay, and that will start from week 3. Okay, so week 3 is the main programming. week, and here from we will start the programming content. Okay, so week 3 we will understand the basic syntax of the C program, basic structure of the C program, and what are the basic requirement to start C programming, like variable, operator, expression, all these things. And week 4 is just like a very prerequisite of the any programming language. Okay, so control statements, so conditional statement and loops, while loop, for loop, switch statement, all these things which is required for every language actually. Okay, so control statement we will cover in the week 4. So now these are the first 4 week content, so that will be come in the your quiz 1 or qualifier exam. Now those who will qualified, okay, so those who will qualified in the qualifier exam, they can continue with this course in the same term. Okay, in the first, those who will qualify in the first attempt, so that is the first qualifier exam. Maybe some of them will not be qualified in the first attempt, so they will give the second attempt. Okay, second attempt and third the attempt qualifier student may complete this course in the next terms only after week 4. Okay, so after week 4, that means the next part is week 5 to week 11. Okay, this is the part next. And in between, here we will also conduct programming exam to test your programming skills for this course. Okay, so quiz 1 and qualifier exam is the first assessment for this course. After that, there one programming exam will be. Someone said no voice. Am I not audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay.
You are clearly audible, sir.
Okay, okay, thanks. So that means after week 5, okay, so week 5 to week 11, what are the assessment during this these weeks? So we will conduct 2 programming exams. So that programming exam is online proctored exam. So complete detail will be shared with you, okay, later. So that are 2 programming exam where you will give the exam in online mode in the monitoring of proctor. Okay, where you will get some programming, and you have to write a solution code for that during the exam. Okay, so first programming exam will contain the syllabus from like week 1 to week 6, first 6 week. Okay, so after completion of 6 week, first programming exam will be happen. Then next exam will be happen once your week 10 will be completed. Okay, so syllabus will be week 1 to week 10 for second programming exam. And finally, after completion of all 12 weeks, there is one exam that is called end term exam. Okay, so that contain the complete syllabus of this course, and that is the final exam. The type of that exam will be the similar to your quiz 1 and qualifier exam. Okay, so from week 5, basically the main concept of C programming language like function and scope. I am not discussing too very much detail about these topics, so we will discuss week by week. Okay, so function and scope we will cover in the week 5. Pointer is a very important topic in C programming language, so that is also very important for the coming upcoming subject like embedded C programming. So that we will cover in week 6. And week 7 we will discuss the about the data structure, this array data structure, which is also used for the string representation in C. So week 8 we will also discuss structured data and custom type. Okay, so we can also create our data structure in some format. So that is some like struct and union and enum. So that we will cover in week 8. Week 9 is dynamic memory. So we can also allocate the memory dynamically when program is running. So that we will cover in the week 9. Week 10 is file handling, how we can interact with the file during the running of the program, and we can read the data, we can write the data into the file. So that part we will cover in the week 10. And some advanced stuff like week 11, preprocessor and multiple file project, how we can make a project, so how we can connect multiple file, and what are the preprocessor and macro, all these things. So that we will cover in the week 11. So this is the complete syllabus we will cover during this course. Okay, so now if we talk about the grading pattern, so this is the grading pattern. The link is available in your course portal itself. Okay, so if you are starting any course, okay, not only C programming, If you are starting any course like Linux or embedded C or math or anything, just also read the grading document for each course. Okay, because this grading is not similar for the each course. This is different. Okay, according to the course, this may be different. So read the grading document carefully. Do not miss any component of the course during the exam, otherwise maybe you will lose some marks. Okay, so what assessment we will provide to you during the course, you can see what are the weightage for that. So like C programming, you have only quiz one. Okay, so quiz one or qualifier for the qualifier student. Okay, there is no quiz two exam for the introduction to C programming. Okay, so some other course may have this exam quiz two. Okay, and this have the final end term exam after quiz one. But in between there are two programming exam. Okay, so OPP one and OPP two, and you can see eligibility also. So what is the eligibility for OPP1? So student have to complete the OPP system compatibility test. There is actually this is SCT. This is one exam to check the compatibility your system for the OPP exam. So you should definitely attempt this OPP system compatibility test to give the OPP1 exam. Okay, so this is one eligibility. And eligibility for the OPP2 exam is OPP2 will be scheduled for those who are eligible for end term exam. Okay, so that means you should also check the what is the eligibility criteria for the end term exam. So this criteria. Okay, average of the best 5 out of first 7 weekly assignment objective and programming score should be greater than equal to 40 marks. Okay, so this criteria should be fulfilled to eligible for the end term exam as well as the OPP2 exam. So do not miss any assignment in the initial week, like that theory assignment. From week 3, programming assignment will also become. So first 2 week you will get only theory type of assignment like MCQ, MSQ, this type of assignment. So in that you will get a 100% weightage for only theory percent assignment. But once the programming assignment will introduce from week 3, so weightage for the theory and the programming assignment will be 50-50%. So in week 3 you will get a like one theory assignment and maybe 5 programming assignment. Okay, so score will be calculated like 50% of your theory exam, theory assignment, and 50% of your average of all 5 programming assignment. Okay, so in this way weekly score will be calculated, so that average of all best 5 out of first 7 week should be greater than equal to 40 marks. So just maintain this criteria, otherwise you have to you will not be eligible for the final exam or OPP2 exam. Okay, and eligibility to obtain the final course grade. So what is the criteria to get the final course grade? Okay, so that is attending the end term exam. You should attend the end term exam. Okay, so this is the one eligibility criteria to get the final course grade. Another is OPP exam. One of the two OPP exam marks should be greater than equal to 40. So this OPP exam is also contain the separate passing criteria in C course, not only theory exam. So one of the OPP exam, your marks should be greater than equal to 40% to pass this course. Yeah, Raju, yeah, you raised the hand. Yeah,
Hi,
okay. Raju, your
Hello,
mic is off.
sir. Yes, sir. Are you saying that there will be no quiz too, sir?
There is for C programming there is no quiz to exam. But
And
instead,
what about the remaining?
another course may have this quiz to exam. Okay, because of that, I am saying if you are learning any course, just check the grading pattern for that course.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
so grading document link is already available in your course portal.
Yes.
So for C programming, there is no quiz to exam, but instead of quiz two, you have two programming exam. Okay, so and programming exam passing criteria is also there in this course. You have to pass at least one of the two programming exam. Okay, so and final course calculation is like this. So GAA is the weekly assignment, best 10 out of 11. Okay, so quiz one score, OPP1 score, OPP2, and final score. These are the 5 assessment. And the weightage of this is 10% is the weekly assignments. Okay, so this final average cost of average score of best 10 out of first 11, and 20% weightage is for quiz 1, and 40% weightage is for final term exam. Okay, so this is the weightage for the theory type of exam or weekly assignment. For opp, so 15%. Okay, so that means two opps are there, so 15 and 15%, total 30% weightage is there for both. But if you maybe miss or something, any one of the opp exam or something, so another weightage we are calculating like this: 20% max of opp1 and opp2. Which one is the max? So either this formula, 30%, or maybe 20% of max of any of the opp exam. So any which value is greater. So that means if you, like, if you are absent in the one of the opp exam, so you will like you will be the you are losing 10% marks for this part. Okay, so that means total 30% weightage is there, opp 115 and opp 215. But if you absent in one of the opp exams, so your score will be calculated like 20% of the any of the opp exam. Okay, so 10% loss if you are absent in one any of the opp exam. Okay, so this is the grading pattern. I hope this is all criteria are clear. If you have any doubt in this, so just you can ask me. And yeah, Amrit.
Sir, actually, I have the doubt that I have actually completed this week one material.
Hmm.
So, can I prefer other sources also, or would I this only reliable?
So initial first 2 weeks are theoretical weeks, so you can yeah, additional resource definitely you can use for programming course from week 3. So the main programming content will start. Then you can practice any problems which you are getting from another resource also. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
definitely this is programming course. Practice is required too much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is not just writing and reading a content or all the only enough. Okay, here writing is very required. Okay, so you have to sit on the code editor, you have to write a code, and you have to test your code like this. So if you will do too much practice, then you will get a good score in this course. Okay, so programming practice is too much required for this course. We will also provide the contents, like we will provide practice programming assignment, grade programming assignment. Other than this, we will also provide some live coding problems. Okay, so yeah, regarding the live session also I'll discuss. So this is the syllabus and this is the grading of the C course. Lab
Yes,
is
sir. Thank you,
different.
sir.
So lab is different. Okay. Yeah, so lab is different. So that also you can also check the grading pattern for lab. So lab has two component. One is timed lab assignment. So after week 5, we will release 6 timed lab assignments that will also contain a programming assignment. Okay, so dates are mentioned when we will start releasing these. And so you have to attempt all these lab assignments. So these are the timed lab assignment. Okay, so we will open these assignments only for 2 hours, but 3 days. Okay, so 3 days we will release this for 2 hours. So you have to attempt these assignment only that slots. Okay, it will be released. So this is the timed lab assignments for the C lab. Okay, so, this is the separate now. Introduction to C programming lab is now separated from the course. So you have to also attempt this lab assignments, which is the online. After that, after completion of the course, in campus lab will be conducted. So at that time, you have to present in the campus to complete the remaining part. Okay, so you can see this grading pattern for the lab also. Okay, so just check the grading pattern and complete all the rules and guidelines fulfill. Okay, yes, someone write the message in chat. What is this? If someone get 100% score in all tests, which one formula gives higher score, or are they some in that case? No, yeah, so what we are taking. Okay, so if you are saying that you are giving both exam, like opp exam, and you are getting 100% score, so definitely you will get the score of both. Okay, so like 15% and 15%, 30% score you will get. But other side, your 20% score will be calculated from the any max of the opp. So like if you are getting 100 score, where is that score? Okay, this one. Okay, so this score is like 100 marks and 100 marks. So you will get a total 30 marks by this. Okay, but by this formula you will get only 20 marks. So max will be selected 30. Okay, so your complete marks will be selected. Okay, so now this is the course regarding syllabus and now grading. Other than this, what support we will provide from our side? So for this course, we are planning to conduct three live session from the instructor side. So first session is today, as timings are fixed, so you can note down these timings in some place. So like what is the timing for the C session like this, and do not wait for the communication for the live session. Okay, and you can add the calendar also in your Google Calendar. Okay, so every course have this that calendar for this course, this type of link in the course itself. You can click on this and you that calendar will be add in your Google Calendar, so you will also get the notification before 10 minutes of the every session. So this is the one thing. And yeah, so regarding the schedule of the live session, so we are conducting three live session for this course. So first is on Tuesday 6 to 8, second is on Thursday, that is 9 p.m. to 11 p.m, and third is on Saturday, that is 12 to 2 p.m, okay, in afternoon. So these are the instructor session, and the purpose of the first Tuesday session is to discuss the summary of the week. Okay, and maybe a PPA that practice assignment question, theory assignment questions, so that we will cover once the programming content will start. So that is the first live session purpose. Second live session is basically for the practice programming assignment. Okay, and third Saturday live session purpose is just discuss a live coding, so some new problems, and we will discuss that new coding problems on the Saturday. So for first 2 week we will discuss something else, okay, regarding the computation or some programming, because programming will start from week 3, so that live coding mainly we will start from the week 3, but first 2 week we will discuss something else. So this is the main purpose of the live session for this C programming. Apart from this, we are also planning to conduct some TA session. Okay, so TA session will also be focused for the programming practice only, and you can also ask your doubt if you have any doubt in the course content and any programming question or any topics of the weekly content. You can ask their doubt in your TA session also. So maybe 2 or 3 session we will schedule by the TA. So in that way you will get approx 6 session in a week. Okay, but that I am not sure you got the information about the compulsory that joining these live session or something, those who are doing this degree as a standalone. So just join this session. Recording we are also doing, so this session is also streaming on the YouTube, so recording will also be available. So if you miss some session because of any reason, so you can also see the recording on the YouTube itself, and we will also provide the one sheet where you can see all the live session. Okay, so like there is one link you can see in this instruction, live session. So in this sheet, that sheet will be updated. Okay, so one live session will be completed, that sheet will be we will filled, so you can directly see the YouTube link from this sheet. Okay, so this is all about the live session things. Other than this, those who are term students, you know that you have this discourse forum. Okay, so discourse forum, you can here there is one page, programming in C. We have posted first where that this guidelines or contact all this document here. And if you have any query in any question or any topic, so you can also post your query in this discourse space. This is for the term student, those who have already qualified and entered into the program. And for qualified students, some Google group will be link will be provided to you, and where you can ask your query. Okay, so I'm not sure that group is created or not. I'll check with the ops team, so they will share with you very soon for the qualified student.
Will you be providing the group link yourself only, sir?
Sorry, Raju, you are qualified student, no?
Yes, sir.
So have you received any Google group discussion group for this course?
No, sir. No, sir. I
Not
haven't.
yet, no. So yeah, because of that, I'm saying I think this is not shared yet. So I'll check with the ops team, so they will share this group very soon. Okay, where you can ask your query. Okay, this discourse, this platform we are using only for the term students, those who have registered into the program. Okay, so those who, they can ask your query in this page. Okay, so C programming page. Yeah, this is about the discussion forum. You can ask here also. So again, I am saying that this is a programming course. Just do practice. Okay, do practice for the writing the code, then you can only learn this course. Otherwise, if you will not practice, definitely you cannot clear this programming exam for this course. Many of the student fails in the programming exam, and they could not pass because they are not doing practice. So if you want to pass and if you want to get good marks in this course, definitely do practice, attempt all the coding session, solve all the problem by your own. Okay, so that is the request to everyone for this C programming course. Okay, so this is all things. I am not missing anything, I think. Uh, Grading is done, live session, course content. Okay. Uh, Portal, you know that every week, this is the, we will release the content on this way. Week one content you can see is now released. So all videos are there first, then practice assignment is there. So this practice assignment is not graded. Okay, so there is no marks for this practice assignment, but the questions are very similar type of your graded theory assignment. Okay, so three type of questions are there in this category. uh, One is like a multiple choice, one answer is possible. Another is like multiple selects, multiple answer are possible. Some question maybe you will get like a numerical input. I'm not sure any question is given. Let's see, grading document, sorry, graded assignment. In that also, okay, no, no question is there, but yeah, some question maybe also be a numerical input type where the questions will be given and you have to put the answer. No option will be given. Okay, so that type of questions will be there in this graded theory assignment. So generally, we call this as a theory assignment. From week 3, you will also get a programming coding assignment. Okay, so that will also come in the week 3. Then we will discuss the interface of the coding assignment also. Okay, so that is the type of assignment you will get every week. So complete the content. So the request is, before joining the session, just complete the content and ask your doubt. Okay, so if you have collect your doubt, if you have any doubt, ask in the session, clarify in the session. So in that way you can complete all the content week wise. Okay, if you not complete the content week wise, so that will become heavy for you to cope up all the content in the less time. Okay, so time week wise week, just complete all the content. Okay, so yeah, this is all about the course introduction. If you have any query regarding the course content or all these things which I have discussed just now, you can ask. After that, we will discuss the summary. Sir, I am not able to join the discourse. Okay, so you are not able to access this course page. You are saying that? Saksham? So I think that discourse that students will be assigned to the every course. So that process is still going on. So you will get an invitation maybe soon. Okay, so that registration is just completed. So all these things are just in this process. Yeah, Amritraj.
Sir, I have a doubt actually regarding the offline time labs, or sorry, offline labs in IIT
Mhm.
Madras campus.
Mhm.
So, is this labs are going simultaneously with the ESTC lab?
No, that labs are scheduled in this way, so that labs will not be actually overlap. So you will be called for maybe 4 days or maybe 2 days. So at that time, all lab will be conducted. So maybe first day, first afternoon, maybe C programming lab is going on after, and second afternoon, like another course. So in all labs combination will be scheduled in this way. So that lab will not be conducted at the same time.
Okay, sir. That's question earlier. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Vidyavrat.
Sir, is there any written material that follow this course?
Written material, we are providing the that slides which professor have used. Okay, so that you can download. All slides are available in this link. So you can also download all coming week also. Okay, and you can see what content will be covered in that coming weeks. And we will also release some notes actually which we have created. So that actually files are created. I am just trying to create one actually that web link for that actually. Okay, not just a file. So that we will also release some notes file. We will week wise notes. Okay, so that we will also release in this content.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Okay, any other, sir? We had to come with laptop on the time of practical. Yeah, so if you're talking about the offline lab, yes, you have to come with your laptop. Okay, so that C programming course laptop is required. Okay, so oh, sir, which date the C programming lab was conducted? So some tentative dates are mentioned. So like introduction to C lab, you can see this tentative lab dates. This is slot one is May 20th, sorry, May 30th to 2nd June. Another is 6th to 9th June. Two slots are there. Out of these two slots, you have to select one. So maybe it may be changed, but that will be communicated to you later. Yeah, Vidya.
Yes. Sir, can you tell more about these timed lab assignments?
So timed lab assignments, yeah, that will be released after the week 5 content. Okay. So these are the similar to your programming assignment basically. Okay. So that timed lab assignment will contain 4 5 programming problems, but that assignment will be released only the given slots. So maybe Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, these 3 day we will release from 8 to 10 p.m. in night. Okay, so in that way we will release 3 days 2 hours on every day. All question will remain same all these 3 days. You have to attempt these, you have to complete this programming assignment within that slots only.
Okay, and we will be doing it on live on like video calls or
No, not nothing. These are not proctored.
okay,
Okay, so total that assignments will be provided in this way. The main purpose of these timed lab assignment to just make your for the practice for the OPP exam, because in OPP exam no, so you will get like a six problem. Out of that six problems you have to attempt four problem in 2 hours. Okay, because of same in the same environment we are also releasing these assignments, so you can practice in the timed constraints.
okay. And do we need to install any software for OPP exams?
No, so that all that OPP exam will be conducted on your portal itself. So this course portal now, so here you will, so from week 3 onwards you will see some programming assignment interface. So same interface you will use in the OPP exam it's also.
Okay,
Okay, no software required, so we will use our portal itself only. Okay, for practice you can use any online that editor. There are many online editor, like you can use online GCD, online GDV, that is one website, and multiple that sites are there that they provide the editor. Or you can also download like VS Code or something, any
okay.
offline tool also.
And will there be some DSA classes also?
DSA classes means?
Data structure and algorithm.
No, this is C programming course. This is not data structure course. Okay, so data structure course is next level course, but that is not for ES actually. We are running that course on the data science program, but that is not too much required in this program. Okay, so what are the required thing is there in the electronics stream that we are covering. So
Okay,
C course is very required for the embedded C programming, embedded system. Okay, so because of that, we are covering this course in the foundation level. Next course you will learn embedded C programming. Then Python you will also learn in the diploma level. Linux course is also there. So what are the prerequisite things are okay for the another advanced level courses, so that we are covering in the foundation.
okay, sir.
Okay. Asking for the coming slot. Left 17 to 20. So what you are asking for the coming slot? Can you speak? Can you open your mic?
Sir,
Yes.
good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Ask your query. Hello.
Sir, coming 17th to 20th January lab slot 2. Hello, sir.
Haha. Yeah.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes. Yes. I can hear you.
Sir, my query is coming slot 2, January slot 2 lab section date, sir.
So have you completed your C theory course?
No, sir.
No. So that is not for you, na. So that is for the students, those who have already completed C course. This they
If I
these
completed the
these January slots are only students those who have completed C programming course in the September term. o- Okay, and they are eligible for the labs only for that. Okay, if you are doing the C course first time, okay, so that means if you have not completed C course, so how you can do the C lab?
sir, but I paid the kid fees for ESTC.
So okay, so ESTC course have you done?
No, sir.
Why then? Why you paid?
Already the forms are filled and I paid the lab fees.
Okay, so maybe okay, so lab fees you have failed. So that your lab will be conducted in the next this May and June. If you are doing these courses, ESTC and C programming, all these courses in the Jan term, your lab will be conducted in the June or May month. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
these January slots are not for your those students, those who are doing this course in Jan term. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
labs are for September term students.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other query? Yeah, Amrit.
Yes, sir. I have a question that for accommodation, will there any arrangement provided by IIT Madras or we have to manage ourselves?
I think they will provide.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, any other query regarding the course content? Yeah, Avineet.
Hello, sir. I'm from the DS students. So I just have a small query.
Mhm.
So for us, it is
Hmm.
it is also required to it is also required to complete the requirement of SAT this term.
Mm, I'm not sure. You have to ask to your support. So we have created one Google group now for you DS students. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So before OPP exam, just tag Narayan. Okay, and ask these questions.
Sure, sir. Because as it was not mentioned in the green document, that's why I asked. Sure, sir. I will do that.
So maybe this is not for you, but still you can just clarify with the that Narayan. Okay, just tag Narayan in your Google group and ask. Okay,
Sure, sir.
to the OPP exam. So you can communicate in the group. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so can we apply for the internship after completing diploma course? Yeah, that type of query you can ask later in the diploma level itself. Yeah, definitely. After diploma, you can definitely do the internship. DS students are eligible for the internship after diploma. Coming slot. Okay. So, any course content related or any course related query, if anyone have. Otherwise, we can start the summary part. Okay. If not, then yeah, we can start. So, Omaya,
Yes.
yes, yes, you can start your week one like summary content.
Okay. Good evening, all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I have shared my screen. Kindly acknowledge if my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for your response, people. So first, let's say what is the outline of this week one. So here we'll be discussing about what the computer is, what is programming, and what is the purpose, and how does the C programming helps us to communicate with the computer. So this is the outline of the week one. Okay. So computer in the sense, what you all know, people.
Like what we are using right now.
Okay. So what is the purpose of it?
And reduce the time that we work through
Mm-hmm. Is Amrit?
for the ease of work and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So can I give answer of this question?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. So, according to my observation, a computer is just a kind of a mechanism which helps to us to do all the kinds of mathematicals and logical operations through which it helps our life to get more enriched and helpful.
Yes, exactly. So it's like whatever the process I have to do, we can do it in an easy way using the computer. Okay. So what it is made of? Generally, let's say if I have to do any process, the CPU is the one which will complete the task. Like you all know what is CPU, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What is that?
The central processing unit that processes all the operations that we give command to the computers.
Yes. Uh,
And the other CU means the control units that also helps to manipulate and control the data flow of the system.
Exactly. So whatever the let's say if I have to do a basic calculations or whatever it is, I can give the command to what it will process that and it will give me what the output it is. Okay. Let's take an example as adding the two numbers. So if it is of adding the two numbers, just we'll give two values and one operator. I mean two operand and then one operator will be given, right? So here let's say I'm giving us A and B. So A and B has to be added and I need the what the computed value is. So for which what we need to do is let's say if it is of CPU here like let's say language. So if I have to communicate with you all people, the common language which I'm using is English to communicate with you, to make you understand what is the purpose. Similarly, if I have to communicate with the computers, I have to know the electrical signals and in the bits. Generally it uses zeros and ones, like how I'm using the words, like it is comprised of the alphabets and all. Similarly there it uses the electrical signals and then the bits. Okay, so first we have to assume the numbers can be as electrical signals, and then we have a circuit that can add those add those signals. Okay, so if I have to do the basic operation also, I need these things. Okay, there is the electrical signals and then the circuit to add up those values and then we'll get it as a output. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's say if I'm giving basic two numbers as 5 and 3 or something, so we can be able to compute it easily, right? Because let's say 5 and 3, we know it's 8. So similarly if I give a larger number also, the CPU will complete it in a very fast way. Okay, so whatever the value you're giving, it will just give it in a like in minutes it will give. Okay, so let's take the values as A and B has to be added and I'm trying to store it in the value as yes. Okay, so what I have to do, I'm just giving us S is equal to A plus B. So A and B I'm taking it as a general values here. So I have just taking us, it will take input from the A and then it will take input from the B. Those two values are added which is nothing but the physical wires. So we are trying to connect it to a circuit. So I'm taking a wire from A and wire from B, and I'm trying to add, like, adder, right? So I'm giving it to an adder, and then I'm giving the wires to connect, which gives the added values, nothing but the addition of A and B. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. So this is what we are saying it as operands. So operands in the sense of what are the values we are trying to give. Like let's say A and B values or 4 and 5 values. So whatever the value I am giving. So we'll say it as a operands. So this place is taken as the operator. Okay, because which is the one which is trying to get the values, and then it is doing the process, like what operation has to be done. So some kind of operations like plus or minus. So that we are saying it as an operation. So here the plus operation is done, which means addition. Similarly, it can be of subtraction, minus, or it can be of any other values as well. Okay. So next, I have to store the resultant. That is what I am using this S. So S is the result of the operation. So that's what is highlighted here. Is these things clear, ma?
Yes,
Ma'am, I
ma'am.
have actually a doubt.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. This operation is actually done by ALU, na?
Ah, yes. So which is inside this CPU, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll come to that point as well, ma. So here, what are the things we are required? First, we required this. Let's say we have required to represent the numbers as the electrical signals. Okay, which means here we have got it as the what will say 1 minute, people. So I have highlighted here. Is that visible? Yes. Is it? Is that visible?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. This highlighter is visible.
Huh, okay. So here I'm trying to use the electrical signals to represent the numbers. Okay. Let's say if it is of digital in the sense of, we'll say it as bits. Bits in the sense of, what is bits, people? What it includes?
So
Zero.
actually, this is a kind of a binary number that includes zeros and ones.
Yes, exactly. So bits in the sense of it's a binary digit which includes zeros and ones. Okay, so let's say if I have to represent any number, we can use this bits, that is the binary format, to represent it as well. And next is of hardware for performing the operation. If I need to perform any operation, we have to use a logic to it. So let's say if I'm doing the plus operation or minus operation. So what precisely, what purpose of doing those operations, or what computation I need to do? So for that purpose, we'll use this digital logics. And next is wires for the input and output. So in the previous example also we have seen here, right? That is, I am given as there is two physical wires connected to the operation, which is given to the result as yes. So there also we have tried using the wires to print it as the output. So we are trying to compute the values, and then we are giving it to the user or whosoever is required. So is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
It's
similarly,
fine.
let's say if I have, yes. Okay. Similarly, let's say I'm trying to do the repeated computations. That is, S1 is trying to store the values of A1 plus B1. And similarly, S2 is trying to compute and store the. So here we have the sequence of numbers simply. Okay. So if it is of A, there we have sequences 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And similarly, we have a series of BS, B1, B2, etc. And we are trying to store it in the S sequence. Okay. So if I have to store it in S1, I'm trying to add the A1 plus B1. Similarly, if it is of S2, I'm trying to store B1 plus B2, and it goes on. Okay, so all the A values are computed, which is given to the operation part, which is taken into the like output one. Okay, so whatever the different values of A and different values of B, will get it a different values of C. Okay, so here we are taking as a like I have a series of values, right? So I'm taking it as a rectangle one, which gives the first like let's say it is taking the values from one, and then I'm taking the another one, I mean like B, and then I'm giving it to the operations to perform, and then we are trying to store the values back. Yes. And here you can see this box is referred to a memory. So from memory, we are trying to fetch the values. Okay, so if it is of rectangle, I'm trying to refer that as a memory. Okay, and here whatever the value it is, I'm trying to use only the memory to store it. Okay, so if I store it so that I can be able to retrieve it and I can be able to do whatever the process is required. Yes, Vidya Bharat.
Ma'am, can you go to last page?
Okay.
One more.
Mm.
About this.
Okay.
Yes. What are these requirements for?
So how it is working? Let's say if I'm taking two inputs. So I'm taking numbers as the electrical signal, what operation it is performing. It is using the logics and then it is giving it to the S. So let's say A and B are taken here. So A and B is considered like this. And next is of B. I mean like the plus operation is considered using the like what operation it has to be and where it is giving the output. Let's say in yes it is giving the output. So which is what is represented here to communicate with the outside world. So let's say if I'm taking an input, so I'm doing some computations. After computation, I have to give it right. Let's say what is the purpose of doing all these things? I want the output. So that's what is given in these 3 points. Is that clear?
Okay. Can you
Mm.
can you explain by drawing what is CPU, ALU, and control unit? I am getting confused between these words.
Yeah, I'll explain this. I'll explain ALU or part I don't. So before that, I think Hitesh, you have raised your hand. Any doubt, ma? Yes, Amit. Okay. So before that, people, do you know what are the input? Like, let's say if it is of a computer. So what are the inputs through which you'll take the input for a computer? To a computer, what are the input ways?
Such as keyboards, mouse
Yes.
is also a kind of input device. Actually, sorry, it's a
Mic.
uh, optical device,
Hmm?
and microphone is an also an input device.
Yes, microphone is an input device. Then.
Devices through which we give command to the computer for the any operations or the input devices.
Yes. Let's say we can say it as a mouse, keyboard, and camera, because through camera also we'll give the input and all these things. What are the output devices?
display,
Yes.
We give the output like a printer, display,
Okay.
and
speaker,
Yes, speaker.
In easy word, we can say that an output device is a kind of a device that basically gives the results.
Yes. So, input in the sense of, let's say I have to turn on my video, or I'm trying to do a video call. So, what I'll try to do, I'll turn on my webcam, and then we'll turn on like we'll unmute ourselves. That is mic. So, we are giving two inputs. So, what is the output we'll get? Through speakers. And then the display on that, like whomsoever I'm trying to talk, I'll get that person's face as well, right? Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here what operation I'm trying to do? I'm trying to do a video call. Similarly, we have a inputs. That is, let's say if I have to compute two values, I need the inputs. So I'm getting the elements and then I'm trying to create a circuit and what operation need to be done. That is done and then I'm getting the output. So that is what these requirements are. Is that clear, people?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's say if I'm trying to store it for some purpose. Let's say if I'm unable to attend the session, what I'll try to do? I'll try to watch the recorded sessions, right? So what is the purpose of that?
So storage is actually something that helps to
Mm.
re-access the content. In my view, I'm not sure it's right or wrong.
Exactly. Let's say if I'm using some, okay, let's say you're going on some trip. So we'll always click some pictures, right, to keep it as a memory. So that's like it is a storage one, which I can be able to visit it again and again, right? Let's say if I'm thinking of some friend or something, we'll try call, or else we'll just check the, like when I'm checking the gallery or something, we'll get the thought, right? So similarly, here also I'm taking the values as A and B or all. So this is taken as some memory. Is that clear, people? So memory in the sense of I can be able to put the things in, or I can check what is the, like, oh, if I have to read or something, we can use the memory. And similarly, where it is kept. Let's say if I'm using a mobile, in that mobile which location I have stored which photo, you can check that, right? It is in DZIM, yeah. And then or else I have kept it in a camera folder, or what folder I have kept. So I can be able to check which address it is located. Or else you may create a different folder for each person's, and we'll try to keep those elements inside it, right? So that is what memory looks like. Is that clear, people?
okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. So address in the sense of it is the place where we can store and we can call the address instead of the values. So these are the terms you'll get it right, people. Okay, so one is to write. So write in the sense of keeping it inside the bag. Reading in the sense of just taking it out and I'm checking, okay, whether it is there or not, or what it is doing, and all these things. Address in the sense of where I have kept that memory or that element.
So, ma'am, in other words, we can also say that write is something as like input and read is output.
Yes, can say. Because, yeah, so it's not exactly the output, we can just view also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, sorry for the interruption, people. So next is of the generalized computations. So before that, I just want you to know one thing, people. So what are the things that are comprised in the CPU?
There are various units that helps to perform various calculations and operations,
Yes, what are the units?
such as the control unit, buses,
Okay.
drivers,
Cause
Hmm.
and many kinds of
Okay.
sensors also.
Hmm. So generally, let's say if I'm taking some components, so it contains a control unit, arithmetic and logical unit, RAM, random access memory, registers, caches, clocks, is etc. Do you all know what is ALU?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what it is?
So ALU is a kind of arithmetic logical units. It stands for arithmetic logical units. Its major work is to perform all the kinds of arithmetical operations and calculations used by the computers in order to uh, show results or operate any task.
Yes, good. And what is its yeah, okay. Next is of control unit.
So control unit is actually helps to flow the data sequentially in sequence manner, so that every data is to be pulled out in arranged way, and all the kinds of inputs is also must be get into the computer in same time with an arranged manner.
Okay. And yes, Vidya,
Ma'am, is RAM part of CPU?
huh, yes, it's one of the component which is included in the CPU, which comes into the memory unit.
But
Actually, we
we install
huh.
RAM separately in computer. Do you understand my question?
I think it was not clear enough. Okay.
I am asking, we install RAM separately in our computers, and CPU is another device.
I think we install RAM into the CPU only.
People am I
he's
audible?
saying that we are installing RAM separately and the processor separately.
Uh, so Vidya, I think you are trying to say that we put RAM into the CPU, right? So that does not mean we give input into the CPU as of RAM, but
No, sir. No, sir. I am asking,
it's just a device
have you
like
seen the RAM slot
like
in
CPU has different devices in it, like RAM, ROM, and all the processors that makes all the devices that we put into the CPU that makes it a CPU. That does not mean we give input into that. Input giving input means like we give commands to operate something to give some result like a keyboard, a camera, and all. Is it right, ma'am?
Yes, people. Sorry, I lost a network for a while. Yeah, what was the discussion is about?
Ma'am, I was asking, we install RAM separately in our CPU, not CPU in the RAM slot of that black box. In it, CPU is a different part and RAM is a different part.
Again, your voice is breaking.
Is it clear now? Hello.
I think you should speak some much higher.
I don't know. Okay, leave it.
Write in the message.
Okay, ma'am, you may go ahead, ma'am.
People, am I audible? Because I could see your voices are breaking. Hold on, people. I'll just check my network.
Vidya, Vidya, hi, hello.
Yes, people, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
All clear, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, people. So I was telling that, let's say if I'm taking the CPU component. So first is of a control unit. So what is a control unit? Yes.
Who control the flow of data?
Yes. Let's say if I'm giving some instructions or the data, look what has to be done, like where it has to be processed and all those things. And next is of arithmetic and logical unit. Nothing but ALU. So what is ALU?
It's just operate on all the kinds of arithmetic values and controls all the kinds of operations and
Uh,
functions related to arithmetics.
yes, like what are the arithmetic
Like
operations or whatever the logical operations to be
logical
done.
operations, yeah, trigonometric functions are there, and addition, multiplication, etc.
Yes, whatever is required, it will do. Has its well, the CPU has its own cache memory. External RAM is necessary to provide a larger, faster, smoother multitasking. Okay. Yes, Diksha. Okay, you are talking about the memory unit, right? Yes. Okay. All right, people. So so next is of let's say it contains the like whatever the process. Let's say if I'm using the yeah, next is of the memory unit. So memory unit in the sense of it handles the memory access.
Maya, sorry for interrupt. I think your slide is stuck actually. That is on some different page. Now it's moving.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, people. So similarly, let's say sorry. Okay. So so next is of memory, the sense of to access the inputs and all. Okay, and input and output interfaces, as you all know, like some input devices are required to transfer the data, and after the process is done, we'll get the output device to transfer it to the output. Okay, and in between we'll have a cache memory also. What is cache memory?
So a cache memory is just like a kind of in this is actually my point of view, ma'am. It's a kind of a bridge that actually helps to uh, reduce the delay of communication between various components. It actually helps to provide the data as much as fast it can.
Yes, actually, it will have a copy of. You can check in compute, like if you're using Chrome, also you can check as cache memory. Or if you're using any mobile apps, you can check as cache memory is there. You want to delete it, which is nothing but, let's say if I'm searching for something, so it will take a copy of that and it will store. If I'm trying to search the same thing again, instead of searching it in the network, it will be easy for me to get it in from a local space. Okay, so that's what is cache memory. Okay, so the CPU contains this caches as well. So these are the things about C control unit and ALU and all these components of the CPU people. Did you get a better idea now?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Yes. All right, people. So next is we are moving to this generalized computations. And so here, let's say I'm just doing the same thing, people. So I have set of values like A or B, and then I have to do some operations to it. The operation can be of anything. Either it can be of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or it can be to compare also. So comparing in the sense of, let's say I'm taking the two values and I'm trying to compare it with A and B, like A which is greater or which is the smaller, or whether it is equal, or if I have to do some other operations also. So for that, we are using this operation. It's not that it has to only be the addition or subtraction. It can be of anything as well, people. Okay. So for that purpose only, we are using this operations to perform the task. So yeah, these are the examples. So here I'm doing some computation and I'm getting some output values as well. Let's say I can do a plus star, I mean nothing but the multiplication, and then we can do XOR, or if I have a value and I'm trying to take a square root of a particular value. Sorry. So that can also be done. So you all know that square root, cos, sine and all those things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the basic like the mathematical operations to perform with the values. So do you all know XOR, OR, and
Yes, ma'am. Actually, in my class 11th, we have the C syllabus in our college. So
okay.
this logical operators, actually, this came it's in logical operators, and
Yes.
this AND operators gives output as 1 when both the value are correct, whereas in OR, any single value can be incorrect also. Then also it provides the one which means true.
Hmm. Yes. Okay. So generally it includes the and so if you have known that it is of AND gate, OR gate, or XOR gate, all those things, people. So let's say I'm taking the two values as A and B. Okay, and oh, sorry. Okay, let's say I'm taking the A and B and I'm trying to do the AND operation. So if it is of AND operation, so before that, let's take the binary values 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. What is AND operation? So AND in the sense of, if both the values are true, it will give me as true. Otherwise, it will give it as false. Okay, so and in the sense of both has to be true. If any one is false, means it will give it as false. Okay, so similarly we have a OR gate also. Do you know what is OR gate?
Yes, ma'am. In OR gate, any false value, sorry, any value either here is in first line. If we get
Hmm.
0 and 1 also, we get 1. Actually, if any of the first value gets true, we get true actually.
Yes. So and in the sense of both has to be true, or in the sense of any one is true, we'll get it as true.
True.
Okay, so I'm just writing this here. So or and in the sense of both has to be true, otherwise it's false. Or means any one is true. So here one B is true. So true. A is true. Both are true is also fine. Okay, so next is of XOR gate. So what is the usage of XOR, people? I mean, like how the XOR works?
Ma'am, actually, I didn't know about this XOR gate. Sorry.
Okay.
If
So
the two bits are different, one is one, another is one, the result will be one like this.
yes, if both are same, I'll get it as 0. Otherwise, it's 1. So this is how the XOR works. Okay. So these are the operations. So here also we need two inputs. Okay, so and in the sense of any both has to be true, or in the sense of any one is true. XOR means both has to be different. 0 1 1 0. So I'm getting the output as 1. Otherwise, I'll get it as 0.
So, ma'am, is this XOR gate is act like as an inverted function?
Inverted of
Means actually it's just opposes the value now. Um,
yeah, let's say if 0 and 1 are like opposite values, I'll get it as 1. Yes.
yes. Okay.
Okay. So these are the logical operators, people, like and, or, not, XOR, shift operations, all these things. Okay. So these are also we can be able to do it in that operation values. Okay. Yes. So here you can see, right? So I can just give plus or whatever the value I'm trying to do, I'll just give it in the uh, what is that, let's say if I'm storing the value, I'll try to give it in the s value, because I want that value to be stored, so I'm giving it in the s. So this op is the ALU, that is nothing but arithmetic and logical unit. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now the next thing which we are trying to, which we are going to discuss is how the computer looks when we are giving all these things. Okay, like let's say if I'm giving this round or blob symbol for that ALU and all these things, right? So here we need to provide the inputs, like in A and B we are giving the input, and that is that round is for giving that what operator I have to give, and next is of what is the output which I am getting it here. Okay, so here we have the operation, so it will take these memory addresses. Okay, so we are trying to give all these things in a big memory block. Okay, in one big memory block we are trying to give all the values. So first I'm giving it as A, and then B, and then what operation to be done, and S. So for all these four it requires a physical memory, I mean separate memory for each, and I'm combining it all together for the whole big memory block. Okay, so let's say if I'm taking an array, I mean like the addresses, so first I'll give some index to it, and that value will be taken. Okay, let's say if I'm tagging it some with some index value, so based on that I can be able to access it. So here this is how we are trying to fetch the data as well. Like we can be able to do whatever the operation it is, and then we'll get it out. And next is of instructions, people. So instruction in the sense of let's say I have to store the memory into it, or I have to get the memory from that, all those things also can be done. So let's say if I have some memory location, so the data next I have is the next memory location. So you can see, right, if I'm giving multiple A's and B's, so A1 B1 operation 1, A2, and then I'm doing some operation, so OP2 and S1 B1. So and so I have to take all these operations into the generalized way. So what I can do is I can just give the operations in a separate block, and then A1, B1, S1 in the other one. So by this way, I'm putting it into the some kind of, like, instead of the mixed memory, I'm trying to fetch it into a separate memory, and I'm trying to store it. Okay, so this we have discussed, right? Like we have some wires and then the gates. So memory in the sense of like it is a thing. I mean, it is a memory storage place where we can be able to keep put the elements into it, or if I want to read it and all those things. Okay, so this memory, and then we are using the wires to give the input into it. Okay, and next is of speed. So speed in the sense of, let's say if I'm giving some more elements, like more elements into it. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, people. So next is let's say if I'm giving some elements into, like Yeah, so I'm giving the values into it, and inputs are given using the voice. So which means now if I'm giving the different voltages or different elements to the circuit. So if a circuit, if I'm giving a higher voltage, so it will be like a quite fast, right? Because I want it to be done in a faster way. So for that way, we can just give all those things. Okay, and yeah, so this is for the larger memory, and then it will do the operation. So if it is of smaller memory, I'll just give it in a very small size, which I can be able to do it. Like, let's say if I'm giving a smaller values, or the memory can be able to give only the smaller values. And then the if the program increases, let's say if I'm giving more computation works, of course the memory will also be increased gradually. Okay, in those cases it's little hard to store it in a specific place. And let's say if I'm storing also, the speed will be reduced because we are trying to do the multiple operations into it. Okay, so in those, if it is of only two operations, I can just use a small memory. If I'm doing multiple operations, in the sense, of course it will take a larger memory, the speed will get reduced as well. Okay, so to for that they are trying to use the registers. Okay, so the larger memory, they are trying to give it in a register. So what is register, people?
So ma'am, register is a kind of a temporary memory that actually takes the data and passes to the main memory, means the RAM or the processor, and fetch again and just pushes that data to the that previous memory, the large memory.
Yes. So others, people?
Like you register as of RAM, like we use keep do operations on registers, like we do on RAM and then passes it through the large memory and same RAM.
All right. So it's like a temporary storage, people. So register in the sense of it is used for the high speed one. Okay, let's say all the registers will be of a smaller one. Yes. It is same register that stops. Yes. Intermediate results and operands. Okay. So similarly, let's say it is of small in size, and thus let's say if I have to locate anything, so I can be able to do it in a faster way. So high speed storage locations. Okay, which will be within the CPU. So it's like a temporary to store the data. So from there I can be able to fetch it in a quicker way. So instead of giving it in a larger memory, we are trying to split it to a registers. Okay, so from there it will compute the process, and then it will give it to the CPU. Okay, so from memory we are trying to load to the CPU, do the operation, and it is giving it back to the memory. So first is load. So load in the sense of we are moving the data from memory to a registers. What is store? After the computation is done, from the CPU register we are moving it to the memory. Okay, so any doubt till this step, people, before moving to the next one? All right, people. So next is of looping. So what is a loop, or what is an iteration?
So a loop is a kind of a uh, it's a kind of a circuit, I think, that
Okay.
helps to flow the data many times
Hmm?
as according to our requirement.
Okay. Have you ever used a loop anywhere, people? A general example is fine.
Like in wiring,
I didn't get you.
like looping the wires in a motor.
Okay. Circuit loops. Okay. So I hope you're all aware of some YouTube and Spotify and all those things, right? Are you all using it?
Oh, I get it,
Yeah,
ma'am. Like we play
the
songs
repetition of
and
the
put it
songs
on
actually.
loop. It plays again and again the same song, like same videos.
Exactly. If I'm very fond of one song, if I want to vibe for that song in a loop mode also, we'll just use the same thing, right? Loop is nothing but I have to listen the same songs. Exactly. Okay. So the looping or of like for loop while dual, yeah, that is also present. Huh? So I'm just asking loop in general. That's it. Okay. It's a sequence of operation. I'm trying to do it again and again until the condition fails. Okay, because let's say we can give it as a loop for one or thrice, or it will be keep on playing, right? At some point, we'll break that loop. So that is the condition. Okay, after listening it to 4 or 5 times, I'm thinking of moving it to the next song. We'll stop the loop. Same way. Okay, so it's a sequence of operation, so it tracks, it keeps on incrementing as well. So let's say I have to do the increment addition of n numbers, which means adding 1 to n. How will you add the elements from 1 to n? Or let's say instead of n, let me give it as 5. So first 1, then 1 plus 2, we'll get it as 3. Now the added value is again added with 3, isn't it, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. And then what we'll do? Now the value is 6. Now I have to increment the I value to 4. Now 6 plus 4, I'm getting it as 10. Then 10 plus 5, I'm getting it as 15. So by this way, we'll have a steps from 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, from 1 to n. We'll have a set of set of steps. We have to do that. All right, people. Is this
Yes,
thing?
ma'am. Like we do the operations until the last condition, until the condition satisfied.
Yes. So once the condition satisfied, once I reached 5, what I did? I stopped counting because I want to compute only till 5. Okay. So here we are repeating the steps from 1 to k times. Loop counter and program counter. Loop counter is nothing but, let's say, if I have to count the values from 1 to n. So what we did there,
We just count the number of steps or the increment number, and
yeah,
we
let's
just
see if I'm
compare
giving
with the
one.
value of initial.
Yes. So initially, let's say I'm counting 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, add the value. Then what we did? We have tried giving the next element, right? Nothing but I'm giving the element as 2, which is also less than or equal to 5. Add the value. Then what we did? We have moved to 3. So this is a loop counter. So I is initially 1, and then I'm comparing with k, nothing but n. It is lesser, incremented. Incremented. So this is what we are trying to do. Okay. So here this CPU tracks the position of the next instructors as
Excuse
well.
me,
Yes.
I think you are typing something, but it's not visible on screen.
Is it not visible, people?
Are you typing something?
Yes.
But here your
Yes,
slide.
ma'am, it's not visible.
Yes, ma'am, he's right.
Okay.
Is it
If you
visible?
are annotating something,
Not, ma'am.
but
Only
are
the
you
keyboard sound is
annotating
coming.
something on the page, ma'am?
Uh, Actually, here are your slides visible. The slides that you shared initially.
Okay. Hold on, people. I'll just write it again.
I
Hold
think you
on.
have to share the different tab where you are typing.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a moment. I'll just type again. I hope now my. Okay. Can you able to see now, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right, ma'am. So initially, let's say I'm giving 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Is the condition is true? Yes. So I need to add the value to it. So what I'll do, I'll try to add the value. Next, I'll increment to 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. So again, add the element to it. So next is 3, less than or equal to 5. Add it. So by this way, I'm trying to get the elements and I'm incrementing the loop counter, which is nothing but 1, 2, and all these things. Okay, so after incrementing we have to check it with that, whether, I mean, I'm trying to compare it with that, whether whatever the process I'm doing, whether it is flowing in the right part. Okay, so by this way we are doing with the loops, people. So with this loop counter or in the register or in the memory, because once I'm incrementing I'm keeping it in the registers, so that next value gets updated in the memory and then again the process continues. Okay, so the loop counter, until it is equal to k, it has to do the process. Okay, so next is of conditions and branches. What is meant by conditions and branches, ma? Any idea? Any conditions or any decisions? Okay, what is decision making?
Can you pronounce it again, ma'am?
Decision making. What is the decision?
Okay, decision making. Like if this happens, then this.
Exactly. So, people, have you made any decisions so far in your life? Any real time examples?
Yes, ma'am. One of these are to join this course.
Okay. Any other example, people? People, we are taking decision on daily basis, right? Should I wake up at 6, or let me eat
Yeah, ma'am.
what lunch I have to have, or should I eat the lunch? How about breakfast? So we are making decision
Mm,
on daily basis, right?
yes, ma'am. I just took the
Yes,
decision
ma'am.
that I will not have a dinner tonight.
Ah, yes. Should we attend this session or not? We have that as well, right? So that also comes under the decision making, people. Okay. Whether I should attend or whether I should eat. So all these are decision making. So decision making in the sense of we have some options, right? Or it will be either true
Yes,
or false. Only true or false, or it will have multiple options.
I have multiple options, ma'am.
It will have, of course, multiple options.
Yes, we'll have multiple options as well as some are like yes or no types also. Okay. Let's say if I'm planning to have my dinner, yes or no. So if it is yes, then I have a multiple options also. So excuse me. So it's like I'll have a yes or no also, or three options, four options, or multiple options as well. So options doesn't matter here. Okay, I can have n number of options as well. Okay, so that is what is the conditions and branching. Let's say I will give some condition based on that what which side it has to do. Okay. In case of looping, what we'll try to do, we'll do the same operation multiple times. But here in the condition statements and branches, first we'll give the condition. If it is right, then it has to go in particular flow. Like what flow it has to go on. Okay. As I mentioned, based on the decision you are taking, based on that, the flow will change. So any condition can be triggered to change the control flow of the program. Let's say if I'm
Yes.
using, yes. Okay. So far we have discussed about the operations, like what operation it has to do. That is either arithmetic and logical operations. Arithmetic in the sense of plus, minus, and all. Logical operations, I have given the example as and, or, and all those things. And then we have used the memory. So memory is to load and store the data. What is load, people?
To store something? No. To
No, no, no.
recharge something.
Can you remember this people? This is about
You would
the.
like we put data from large memory to the
Hmm.
register, and
Yes.
again putting it into the large register after work. That is load, I think.
All right, good attempt, people. Generally, load is to move the data from memory to a register. Okay, I think it is visible in the screen also. Store in the sense of moving the data from the register to a memory. Okay, so this is what is the memory does. Okay, so if you have a larger memory, will it affect the speed?
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
How to tackle it then?
Ma'am, to break down into smallest one.
Yes. So we can use the registers then. So using the registers, we can be able to, like, register is nothing but a temporary one. We can be able to store the elements into it. Okay. And next is of the control flow, which is nothing but branches and conditions. Okay. Yes, Vidyabrath.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
these resistors and transistors are same thing or different?
I didn't get you.
Resistor and a transistor. I heard two words in this course. So transistor and resistor is same thing or different?
Uh,
bro, both are different.
Okay, but these both save some memory.
uh, so you're talking about the transistor, which is a semiconductor device, right?
It's used in microprocessor when we built a
To
chip.
transmit signals and
Man, that is different and registers are different. So here register is to store the data.
And transistors also store data, right?
Uh, that is to amplify and it is let's say we
No,
have to generate or switch electrical signals.
transistor is not made for store data.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this is the
Ma'am,
thing. Yes.
actually, I have a doubt.
Yes, ma. Please say.
Can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Actually, I learned previously
Okay.
CPU is main component of control unit and ALU.
Huh. Yes.
Uh, so when we load, then the data move from register to then what their component like control unit or ALU in a specific terms like when we load data from registers where that data go like in CPU control unit and ALU and how they perform inside CPU.
Generally, if I take elements, let's say if it is of, let's say if we'll try to load in the CPU, right? Let's say if I'm loading, if it is of zero in the sense of it is of idle, and if it is of one, that keeps running, right? That's what you're asking, right? Is that the thing that you're asking? Loading in the sense of if it is of empty, we'll try to load it in the CPU. If it is full, we'll wait and the next step continues. Is that the thing you're asking?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when data load from a register into CPU, na, so in CPU the control unit and the ALU perform. So that data go where first from to control या ALU. It perform ALU first या the the data goes to control unit and then perform ALU.
I'm not sure. I'll check and then I'll let you know in the next session. Is that fine?
Oh yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So far we have discussed about this CPU operations, memory, and then control flow, right? Do you have any doubt in this, people?
Till now, I'm good, man.
Yes, good, Syed. All right. So next is of the communication part, which is nothing but, let's say, CPU is handling the computation and the storage part, right? Let's say if I'm giving the compute, like whatever the operation has to be given, so that is given to the CPU. CPU will do the process, and then it will be stored using the memory part. Like from the memory, it will be able to try to store it, right? So next, how to get it into the memory or get it off the memory? How to do that? So as I mentioned, we are
Ma'am,
trying to do.
can you repeat your question, please?
uh, so CPU is doing the computations. Let's say if I have to do the addition and like if I have to store some values, we are doing it using CPU and the memory. So how to get put the elements into the memory?
We load by input, uh, by giving input to the computer.
Yes, by interacting with the computer. Okay, by interacting we can be able to give using the input devices. By using input devices we are giving the elements into the memory, and how to get it from the memory, how to read it from the memory.
Like we load the data from the uh, memory to the registers by the input devices.
Input devices is to getting into the memory, right? How to read it from the memory?
From the display.
Yes. If it is of input, we'll just use the touch screen or mouse or whatever it is. If we need as the output, so we can just give it in the screen or printer or whatever the output device is, or speaker or whatever it is. Okay, so by that way, we are pushing the elements from the memory back as a response. Okay, so we are giving it, give the input to the memory using the input devices, and from there we are fetching it off. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's say I'm giving the element. So here previously we have just used only the elements, like input to the input is given, and then we are yes, Shanti.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please.
What is control unit?
It is to let's say if I'm transferring the elements, or if I'm doing some process, like what has to be done. The control is hold in that. Let's say if I have to move the elements, or if I have to give the output or whatever it is. So for that purpose, the control unit is used.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Others, any queries so far?
No, man, you can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So next is of if I'm trying to store the elements into it. So do you remember, people, like when we are discussing about the memory, we had three things, right? One is like reading the elements, and next is of writing the element, and next is of like where the address is stored. Do you all remember that? where the bag is, or where something it is kept. Okay, so similarly, let's say if I have to get the address, which means which location it is. Okay, writing is just giving the element into the bag, right? Reading is taking it out from the bag. Address is where it is kept, I mean from where I can be able to find this person or the memory. Let's say I have to go to some space or some place. I need the address, right? Or if it is a food delivery also. If you're ordering a food, of course we need the address because where it has to be delivered, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Similarly, I have to get the address. So using the address also, we could be able to fetch the data from there. So next, using the address, I'm trying to insert it into the elements. I mean, reading from the memory. And of course, once the part is done, it will give me the response. Okay. So memory is nothing but a box. It's just nothing but the internal structure. Okay. So yeah, here. Now, let's see if I'm whatever the request we are giving. So it will return some useful response. Okay, whatever I have requested. Based on that, I'll get the response. Okay, let's say if I have requested for something like after multiplication, I want the answer. For example, so it will give me what the exact output is. Okay, it's like a same circuit. It will get the input from the wires, do the process, and then it will give it back to me. Is that clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is my screen is stuck or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hold on, people. I'll just reshare my screen. Is my screen is visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next is of the peripheral. So which is that I'm trying to read the address. Okay. So the memory responds with the current time and the memory responds with the temperature. So we could be able to let's say um, from the reading from the address. Okay, either it can be of time or thermometer, that is the temperature, or through mic or keyboard, whatever is the external input device. Using that, we are trying to read. Okay, the next is of writing into a data. So previously we tried to read in the sense of it will give it as an output, right? Like I want to show or I want to view that. How about writing into it?
Like we load the data from the memory to the register and we just edit all the things.
Mhm. Yes. So here we have to write the element into the data. I mean, into the memory. Like if I have to store some value into it. So for which we'll use the input devices to write into it. Okay. I have to write some element into it or store some values into it. So for which we'll use that. Okay. So the input elements like the screen or using the print, I'll just try to write the sorry once that element is written, I can be able to fetch it outside using some of the output devices. Okay, so to write the address, we are sending the data through that. Okay, we have to send the data to the memory. And yeah, so next is of we have to move back to like the same memory one, how the CPU works in it. Okay, so first we are giving the address like using the data inside here. So code 1, data 1, code 2. So similarly, we are giving the, let's say we are giving the whole program with this. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry for the interruption, people. So once the elements are fetched from that, let's say, as I mentioned, like we can use the peripheral devices to get the elements inside, and we can be able to take the element from it. So here we are giving the address to it. Okay, so I can be able to write the elements into it. Okay, I can just write the element as x and I can store it. So once it is stored, I can be able to fetch it later part of it. And as usual, we are giving the data in as code 1, and when it is going from the cpu, and it is stored in the memory, either we can be able to store it in the memory, or we can be able to send it to somewhere else wherever is required. Okay. uh, okay, so whatever the data we are giving it in the, we can send in over here on the data out. Okay, which means where the data gets written. Okay. And like let's say if I have to do some like data in us, sending the data inside the memory, and data out, as you know, it is to take the data from the memory and to do some logical set of operations. Okay, so once all the computations are done, so we have the like let's say we have the multiple operations to be done and I have to store it. So the possible is we can all there in one cpu, which we are trying to store the elements into it. Okay, so we are doing the computation operations, we are storing it, and then we are doing the next operation, we are storing it again. So this is how it works. Okay, and as usual, peripherals in the sense of to get the input, and we are storing and to retrieving it. Okay, so cpu in the sense of it contains the ALU registers, and memory is for the storage purpose. Okay, so this storage also includes some peripherals also, nothing but input and output. So input and output devices are used to give the memory elements into the, I mean, whatever the input it is, to the memory storage. From there, it will be moved to the CPU to do the process, like whatever the computations has to be done, we can do that. Okay, and next is of, let's say once the process is done, I mean if it is of the larger memory, it will be split it out into the registers, and it will do the operations like I mean like ALU, using your ALU it will perform the arithmetic and logical operations. Once all the things are done, again the data is given to the memory bank, and once the memory gets or the stored, it will get it in the output. Is these things clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
And
please repeat. Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, repeat again.
which one, ma?
Ma'am, last slide. Storage, memory or storage. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
The same one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are trying to give the like first we are giving the elements from the program, right? Okay, we are giving the elements into what it will store, and then we are giving it data out. So generally data in the sense of I'm giving the elements into what, and it has to do some computation process, and then it has to store it in the memory bank. Okay, so data is stored, fetching it, doing some operation, and after the operation is done, I am giving it back to store it in the memory. Okay, so for which we can use the devices like input, output, that is peripherals, and I'm doing whatever the process is required. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
data in the sense of I'm giving the input, out in the sense of once the operation is done, it is giving back to it. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. The next is of programming, people, which is nothing but let's say if I have we have used registers and we are doing the computations that is storing inside the memory, and we are from the memory we are fetching it back and all those things, right? So how it works from the user end. So all these things are done in the CPU. how it is visible to us? It's not right. So we'll just give the language which is understandable to the computer. So now let's take this quadratic equations one. Okay, so here what we'll try to do is I have to find ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. I have to find the x value then. So what is the value, like how will you find the x value then?
By the root of this quadratic equation.
Yeah. We'll use this formula, right? Minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So by this way, we can find the x1 and x2. And here x is the variable one, which means it keeps changing. This a, b, and c are the constant values. Okay, that's what is right. So x is the thing which keeps changing, and that holds the true value. And this a, b, c are the constants using which we can find the values. So what I can do is we have to define the inputs and a and b, and output will be like x1, x2, and x3. So first, as usual, we have to step these elements. Okay, what are the steps has to be done? First, I need to find the b value. Then you can see this process, right? B square has to be formed. So instead of b square, they have taken b into b, the same one, which is stored in T1. Then we have to compute 4AC. So 4 into A into C. They have split it into two steps. That is, A into C is computed in T2, which is and then 4 into this T2 is taken. After B square, we have to subtract these two values. So B squared is T1, 4AC is T3. Subtracting. By this way, they are using the temporary storage to perform all these operations. Okay. Once we compute all these operations, see, variables in the appropriate part. So this is what they are doing, people. First, they are taking A, B, C. I'll take this one. Yeah. Then they are taking T1 is equal to B square, T2 equal to AC, T3 is equal to 4AC. So for this one, we need a memory, right? So initially they have taken the M1 is equal to B square. I mean B value into M1. Okay. So after that, they are taking M5 is equal to, that is in memory of 5, they are storing these two multiplied values. So T1 is equal to B2 is done. Now what I need to complete? A into C, which they are trying to store in M6. 0 is A and 2 is C. So 0 into 2 is multiplied and stored in T2. Now I
Ma'am,
have, yes,
ma'am, actually, why we start from M5 memory? Why we not start from M3 memory
you can
location?
assume in any places also.
What, ma'am?
You can just give it M4 also, not an issue. You can take any location part for that. Let's say if I'm thinking that in M3 and M4 I have to store the output. For that I have given a space. You can store it outside also, not an issue. You can
Okay,
take
ma'am.
up the places from 1 to n continuously also. Okay. So after this, I have to compute 4. So 4 is a constant number. 4 into M6. Because in M6, we have already computed A into C. We are storing it again. I mean, we are multiplying it with. Then we have to compute B square minus 4AC. So B square is stored in M5. So M5 minus 4AC is computed in M7. So that is what is given here. They have given us M5 minus M of 1. Okay. So similarly, next what I need to do, I have to take a square root of it. So here you could see that they have given square root of M8 because M8 is the value which stored B square minus 4AC. Okay. Then we have to complete 2A. So 2 into A value is stored in M of 0. We have to store it again. Okay. After this, what is the step, people? I have computed B square minus 4AC, 2A is computed. What is the next step?
After that, we do the division T5 upon T6.
T5? No, it's
Okay,
M9 and M.
M11. Like M11 is equal to uh,
Hmm.
M10 up.
Okay, then what is the next? One more step is there, right? Minus B plus R minus.
Minus z plus minus.
So minus B also I'm trying to store it here. So M11 is equal to minus of M1. Okay, so after this minus B plus or minus. So for plus, I have to do a separate step. For minus, I have to do a separate step. Okay, which is with M9. Can you see? M11 plus M9. And the next step is division 1. So this is for one computation. For the other computation, M11 minus M of 9, which means minus B minus root of, because we have two options, right, for x1 and x2. And then again we have to divide this value by 2a, which is nothing but m10, m13 by m10. Now this is stored in m4. So m0, m1, m2 are for inputs, and m3 and m4 are for the output purpose. Is this clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So generally, if I'm doing it, like as a human, we know like what are the steps to be done. But here in the code, we have to give each and every steps. Like minus b, I have to give minus of that value. Okay. Similarly, minus b plus or minus. So for plus, I need to write a separate step. For minus, I need to write a separate step here. Is it clear, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And similarly, let's say if I have to do some addition process, then what are the steps is required, people? If I have to add only two elements, then
Then we only use addition operation in that situation.
yes, we have only three steps, right? In the first memory, we'll store the input of A. Second, we'll store the input of B, and one more step for A plus B. That's it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So similarly, if I have the multiple steps, then we have to break it down into a similar primitive steps, which means the basic steps. Okay, so you can see here minus b is done in a separate line 2a, and they have tried it in a different length. Okay, all right. Do you have any doubts so far, people? How the storage works and all?
No, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay. So next is what is the like. Yes. So for next is we have just computed and all these things, right? So next is we need to move with the C programming language, which means we have some syntax for it, inside which how we are trying to give all these things. Okay. So do you know how the compilation works?
I think your page is stuck. Oh, now good.
Yes, ma'am. Compiler.
Yes. How the compilation works?
Ma'am, actually, the compiler work it convert high level high level code into smaller language, into simple language that human understand.
Okay. Alright. So generally, what we'll do is it will just get the input and all those things, right? So we'll write the elements, all these things in a higher level language, okay, which will be converted to a basic machine code. Okay, for this we'll use the pre-processing process, which means it. Let's say if I'm giving some header and all, so first it will be done into a pre-process. Okay, so once the pre-processing is done, which means what is pre-processor?
And preprocessor directives.
Yes, pre-processing directives like hash include and hash
Yes,
define
ma'am.
all these things.
These are the kinds of header files in which the various subjects and sub-subjects are inserted, through which we can program any subjects with more efficiency. For example,
Yes.
if in iostream.h, so this actually a part of C++, and there's
Mhm.
hash include conio.h, which means console.h. So there are various subgroups of various elements such as print scanf,
Yes.
int.
It's like a function which, I mean, like it's a header file which holds all the basic things like how to
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
input statements and output statements and all. Okay, so for that, first it will do the pre-processing, which means what are the tasks are included in the header files. That will be done. Next is the compilation process. So here it translates or like converts the higher level to a assembly language. That is, here it checks for the syntax and semantic errors and all these things. Okay, after that, the assembly level code is translated into the machine level code, okay, which is nothing but object files. So here, actually, it is not executable. It is like checking one. Next is of the linking, which combines the object files with the libraries and it gives the executable file. Okay, so by this way only it will process the element. So first we'll write the code in C, which is pre-processed, converted to assembly level code, object file, and then the executable file. Is that clear?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, so these are the steps first it will do, people. And then based on what is the process we have given, it will do the process and it will give the output which is required. Okay, do you have any doubts so far, people?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the overall view about the week one content, people. Like it includes these CPUs and ALU control units and basic registers and how the programming works, and then what is C language and all.
So is this going the end of the session, man?
Yes, ma'am. So then you can complete these practice questions. Like you can just go through it, and then you can just go ahead with this graded assignment, people. So you have some stipulated time. Before that, try completing the um, graded assignment. Okay.
Okay, man. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time ma'am.
Yes, people. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, people.
Good night, man.
Huh.